Wait, let me do this first. Ready? Testing.
Test.
Good afternoon, Seabrook.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name's Frank Campanelli. I'm a Yankee from Michigan that wished I was a Texan. Everybody wants to be a Texan. So I thank you all for being here and celebrating the 26th anniversary of Keels and Wheels on this beautiful, semi-sunny day, and hopefully it stays like that here in Seabrook, Texas. So thank you all for attending the show today. We have a terrific show. But before we start, we would like to acknowledge the co-founders of the show, Paul Merriman and Bob Fuller. My partner in crime here is Randy Cox. Randy Cox is a former designer for Ford Motor Company and an automotive restorer extraordinaire. He lives in West Palm Beach, Florida. So Randy, it's a pleasure to have you here with us as well.
I'd like to thank the Academy for this award. We're going to say a few words here. This is a man responsible for the 26 years. Him and Paul Merriman. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Bob Fuller.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I just want to welcome you here and appreciate you being part of this. We've got some great awards to hand out to some incredible automobiles that are part of the show this weekend. And many of you in the audience will be receiving trophies for your participation here. And we just want to say thank you so much for being a part of it. And please give thought to joining us next year. Paul Merriman is not able to join us. He's at a memorial service for a friend as we speak. So my regards to you all from Paul. And thank you all for being here and making our show a success. And I'll hand it back over.
And before we move to Tom Collier, I'd like to have Judy Fuller stand up. Because as I said last night, behind every great man stands a greater woman. And Judy has been just phenomenal of helping Bob through some rough times the past year. Thank you so much, my friend. Tom Collier.
And just so you know, between the two guys here, Bob did cars, Paul did boats. Who could make it easier than that?
Tom is the chairman of the board of this wonderful event and has some comments for us.
Thank you. And it has been my pleasure to serve as the chairman of the board of Keels and Wheels. But what really makes it possible is our directors. A lot of them are here. Some of them are off working. But they all do an incredible job. I'd like to recognize them anyway. Ben Baker, are you here? Stand up. Ah, there you are. Ben Baker, Dennis Stetzel. Dennis? Richard Fawcett. I think he is busy right now. There's Tommy Hammonds standing over here. I saw him a minute ago. There he is back over here. Tommy chaired our car selection committee this year. Does an incredible job for us. Brandon Mason. Brandon. He's over here. Uzi. I know Uzi's busy. He's back there trying to line up cars to get them in here for us. Oh, and everybody wish Uzi a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Uzi.
From the boat side, we have Dave Persons. I don't think Dave is here. And Lindy Robinson. Gary Garnett. Gary's been instrumental in our marketing. Jim Sweeney. Another longtime member of our board, Timmons. There she is back here. Evan damn near single-handedly filled up A section back here under the oak trees this year. She never should have turned Uzi loose in her garage. Nat Kimberling and Grady Owens are the other two. Is Grady here? Grady's a new member of our board, and he's been a big help. Also, our advisory member, who Tom Kolupski, Tom the Mayor of Seabrook, has been a big supporter of Keels and Wheels for a long time, and now he has to come to the meetings and offer his advice. I'd also like to acknowledge Ida Wilcox. Ida, where are you? She went home. There she is. Ida, please stand up. This little gal is who keeps us all straight. And if you've got a problem, don't call Bob, don't call me, call Ida. She'll get it fixed. I'd also like to thank Lakewood for hosting this event for us. And in that light, I want to introduce our 2022 flag officers. Gary Romer is a Commodore for 2022. Paul Dumphries, a Vice Commodore. Dwight Bankston, a Rear Commodore. And Dwayne Guidry, our Fleet Captain, couldn't make it this week. Also, I don't know if Kelly Yost is here or not, but our General Manager, he and his crew do just an incredible job for us. I've got one other thing we'd like to do. Judy, if I could get you to come up here and stand by Bob and Susan. This is one of these things Bob didn't have any idea was going to happen.
Mardi Gras has been a wonderful part of Lakewood and Bob and Judy for years, and we wanted to present an award to them for everything that they've done for us. Thank you so much, you two.
Congratulations, Bob and Judy.
We love them. Thank you.
Thank you. And last, on behalf of the Board of Directors of Keels and Wheels, I want to thank you all for coming, for participating in this show. We really appreciate you being here and bringing your cars. And with that, I'm going to turn it back over to these gentlemen.
Thank you, Tom. And once again, Bob and Judy, thank you so much for being the founder of this wonderful event. Randy and I have an opportunity to judge at various events. We typically aren't the speakers, however, but we do have an opportunity to judge at many of them, and this is by far one of our favorites just because of the general friendliness and hospitality of the people from Texas. Most of you were at the dinner last night. Some of you weren't, but I said I love people from Texas. They're so friendly and hospitable unless you piss them off. You don't want to be on the wrong side of them. So with that, you know, the exhibitors are the reason why we are all here, right? If the exhibitors, the people that own the cars, restore the cars, have the cars restored, spend the money, the time, and the effort to provide the automobiles and have them shipped here so they could share them with all of the spectators that come and visit the show, we wouldn't have the show. So it's just a big round of applause for all of you that are the participants. We very much appreciate it. And most certainly, we could not have an event like this without the volunteers. And I know the volunteers are spread out all over the field, and they probably can't hear me, but they certainly deserve to be acknowledged for their efforts. So thank you to the volunteers. Randy?
This portion of the show, if you will, is just really about acknowledging people, but more importantly, it's about acknowledging their time. When you think about the most precious commodity you have, it's your time. What you do with it is up to you. But when you give your time to something, that's about the biggest sacrifice I think you can make. There's a gentleman, it's a dear friend of ours, a dear friend of the show. He's your honorary chief judge. I'd like to bring him up and have a few words. This is Mr. Kip Wasenko, design director of Cadillac for many years as well.
Well, thank you, Randy, and my biggest thanks goes to Mr. Bob Fuller. He's really been generous inviting me here for several years as the honorary chief judge, and it's like Randy and Frank said, to be able to come down here, we're starting to meet some of you and to become our friends, and it's an absolute delight for us to come here. Your cars seem to get better every year, and Bob, congratulations, 26 years. you've done an amazing job, dude, and it's great. And thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Kip. Another one of our very special guests today, as well as one of our chief judges, I'd like to ask him to come up, Bill Warner. Bill Warner is my brother from a different mother. Bill and I have had a lot of fine adventures together, and Bill is the chairman and founder, former chairman and founder of the Amelia Island Concours Elegance, which won the award on 2 different occasions as the best Concours Elegance in the world, not only in the United States, but in the world. And I'd just like to introduce Bill. He's a terrific guy, and not only a great car guy, a photojournalist. He's written a couple of books, a new one just recently I'll let him tell you about, as well as a photojournalist that goes back to the 60s, right, Bill?
Yeah, 1959, really. A child photographer. I'd like to also echo the comments for Bob Fuller and what a great job you've done. It takes a visionary and leadership to put together a show. No one knows better than I do what it takes and what is behind the scenes that makes something like this happen. So please, another hand for Bob Fuller. As Frank said, the cars have been my life since I was a child. I went to my first race in 1959 and became infatuated with racing. And I've had a lot of great years with the Road and Track magazine, Sports Car Graphic magazine, and working with the Concours d'Elegance and racing with my friend here, Frank. We raced against each other back in the 80s in the Firehawk series. And he and I did the 1,000 miles of Italy together in the Mille Miglia. So it's always a pleasure to be here. I want to thank you all for coming and thank you all for supporting it. Texas is a great state. You got a great governor like we have in Florida. And and let's send that message to Washington in November. That's my political speech.
Mr. Bill Warner, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, additionally, I'd like to acknowledge the real chief judge, the one that does all the legwork during the course of the year and putting together the judging and assisting in the car selection as well. Sneed Adams. And Sneed, I don't see you. Where are you? Come on up here and let everybody see you, Sneed.
Everybody thinks all you got to do is get a bunch of cars and put them on a field and put a sign out, and there's a car show. Sneed can tell you different.
We did, right? That's what we did, right? We did. Anyway, thank you for coming. It's been a lot of fun. The last 3 months have been exciting in the car business. I get to see all the cars, meet some of the owners, get to know all the judges, and put the judges together. This year we had a lot of fun with the judges. Normally, people have an expertise. So this year, instead of taking the Corvette judges to judge Corvettes, I sent them over to judge the Thunderbirds. It took them 3 hours. And then they came crying back to me, "What's a Thunderbird?" Anyway, thanks to all the judges and the work that they put in and the volunteer time. It's a lot of fun. We enjoy it, and especially thanks to the owners that come out and bring their cars. It's a thrill to be part of this, and thanks to all of you. Take care. Have a good day.
Thank you, Sneed.
There are some VIP judges, though, that we're just going to acknowledge. We won't ask him to come up, but we will ask him at the end to stand up. Carl Bomstead, where are you, Carl? There he is, over there in the corner, hat on, wallet in the air. Mr. Frank Campanelli, I know him. Myself, thank you.
And, of course, Randy Cox.
Robert Casey, Bob Casey, where are you, Bob? There he is.
Al Kramer.
There he is. In the black with a hat. And Mr. Matt Short.
So, in theory, this group of VIP judges is supposed to perhaps know just a little bit more than the rest of the judges. But in practical reality, what it means is we're just old. We've been around longer.
If you could, just let's let the VIP judges stand for a minute and just acknowledge them a little bit for their efforts and their time.
Okay, so without further ado, and I know that's not proper English, I've been taught, we are going to start the class awards for the cars, and they are queued up and ready to go, I do believe. Can we bring the first car around?
No.
I want to bring it around before we start with the first
Very good.
award. Yeah. So the first award for best in class, and this is Class 1, antique automobiles from 1900 to 1919, is Jess Matthews from Belleville, Tennessee, for a Stanley Model 71.
It's Texas, not Tennessee.
Class 1, also antiques, 1900 to 1919. Evelyn Timmons from Friendswood, Texas, for their 1915 Scripps booth.
That's a silver award. Silver award. Silver award.
Congratulations.
Silver
My
award.
pleasure. The next award winner for Class 1 antique automobiles, 1900 to 1919, for a Corinthian award is for a 1913 Buick Model 30. Stephen Quance and from Quance, Cypress, Texas. Did I say that right, or is it Quance? You look pretty fancy to me. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Coming up next, driving up, we have Class 2, American Pre-War, 1920s best in class, with that big blue ribbon on the radiator, Mr. Leland Ball, College Station, Texas. Is that a beauty or what?
Now, these are very unusual automobiles. They didn't make very many of them. And perhaps you could get the fine owner to tell us a little bit and where you got the.
Well, my dad bought the car in St. Louis, restored in 2011 to this, and then I acquired it from him after he passed away. He would just love to be here and see this. It's a really rare car. Palm Beach Special is one, maybe two left in the world. And by Moon Motor,
How many of them were built?
maybe between 50 and 100. And Moon made about 80,000 cars before they went on.
It certainly is a beauty. Thank you so much for sharing it with us. Thank you.
Best in class, ladies and gentlemen. Same class this time, and for a silver award, Mr. Gary Moon, Loganville, Georgia, for his 1922 Moon 640 Touring. Now, how does a guy named Moon get a Moon? There you go. He found it on eBay.
Is that true? Yeah. Okay, you got to tell us the story.
I was buying Moon memorabilia, like old magazine ads, radiator emblems, and things like that, and scrolling through one night, and the car was on there, and it took a little while, but I wound up buying it, and that was in 2008.
That's pretty expensive memorabilia.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, the expense came after I got it.
Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Class 3. This is American pre-war 1930s and 40s. This car, ladies and gentlemen, had all of us talking. A 1931 Pierce Arrow 43 Tourer.
Best in class.
Okay, one of the questions we like to ask somebody is, so what else you got at home?
Got a 1914 Cadillac, got a 1929 Model A, 1934 Auburn.
Other than that, what a beauty.
Okay, and our next award winner is Donald Beck from Tulsa, Oklahoma. This is in the American pre-World War II 1930s and 1940s. This is a silver award for his 1937 Cord 812 Phaeton Supercharged. And Thank you so much. Your
This
car
thing
is
was
gorgeous.
a black beauty if ever there was one. Hold on, don't go away. Tell us a quick story about how you got that car, because we were talking about it yesterday.
Well, I actually got it from my really good friend, John Grondike. We've been friends for a long time. He acquired the car in 2017, and we've been working on it together since that time.
Just a beautiful car. And John Grondike, by the way, was one of the most noted collectors that we had a chance to talk to over the years. He's not with us anymore, but he really had a collection of beautiful cars.
The next award winner, Class 4, American Post-World War II, built after 1946. This is the Best in Class award to Robert Houston from Houston, Texas. In 1967, Pontiac Bonneville. Robert Houston from Houston, Texas. I love it.
A silver award, same class, American post-war. Once again, built after 1946. Donald Springer from Bel Air, Texas, for his 1955 Hudson Metropolitan. Another great car on the field. I walked by that thing several times yesterday.
Our next award goes to a gentleman who I have had the pleasure and opportunity to judge one car after another of his through various concours around the country. And every single time he shows up with some new, unusual car he just finished a restoration on. And they're just odd, fantastic automobiles. This is for Frank Rubino. Frank, if you would come up. He is from Pinecrest, Florida, and is the Georges Irat CV6 MDS, which we were going to have come around the front, but evidently you had a little bit of a mechanical issue.
New car blues, just finished the restoration, and always there's one little wire that isn't connected. It got onto the field, but it doesn't want to come off.
The man, the myth, the legend.
Frank Rubino. Thank you, Frank.
Thank you, Randy.
Good to see you, Frank. Continuing the class, European pre-war, once again, 1920 to 45. This is a silver award. We're going to walk to Eduardo Zavala from St. Petersburg, Florida, for his 1935 Jaguar SS. Eduardo, are you here, sir? All right.
Okay, our next award, this is for Class 5, European pre-war, 1920 to 1945 Corinthian Award. The owner is, there's no owner here.
Okay, if by chance you happen to have a 1939 Delahaye. Here he comes.
Here he comes.
Hi, Al.
If you haven't seen this car out in front of the clubhouse, it is spectacular.
And this is Mr. Al Kramer, by the way.
Thank you, sir.
You do it.
Next, we got Class 7, Cadillac LaSalle. Best in class, Mr. Greg Riley, Point Blank, Texas. 1931 Cadillac, all-weather Phaeton. Just a gorgeous. Standard of the world. This is your best in class. You notice the blue ribbon right there.
How about giving us a little color on the car? How did you acquire the car, and is it have any history in your family?
Well, we haven't had the car that long. It belonged to an old friend of ours that unfortunately passed away, and we acquired it from his estate. But the car has won many top awards. In 2017, it won Best of Show at the Cadillac LaSalle Nationals, and it was Cadillac's most expensive V8 model in 1931. And it's an open car, but it's meant to be chauffeur-driven. It has a division window, and you can see the compartment up here is pretty small and pretty big back there. So it's not necessarily sized for a guy like me, but it's a great car, really wonderful car.
So having been the most expensive car, how much was that back then?
This car was like $6,800, which I think equates to like 135, 140,000 bucks today, which was a lot of money. And they only built a handful of these cars. Cadillac only built slightly less than 11,000 cars in 1931, and we don't know how many of these cars were built, but I've been in the old car hobby for 40 years, and this is the only one I've ever seen.
Well, thank you so much for sharing your car with us. We appreciate it.
And if you notice the logo on the wheels, that's unmistakably Cadillac, even back in 1931.
You know, we have the
Same class, Cadillac LaSalle, this time a silver award.
The silver award goes to John Payne from Sugar Land, Texas, for his Cadillac LaSalle. This is a silver award, 1939 Cadillac LaSalle, model 50-27.
Here comes John now.
Congratulations, John. Thank you.
Okay, John, what's the next question I want to ask you? What else you got at home?
Well, actually, I've got a 34 Packard here and a 35 Buick.
Packard, ask the man who owns one.
The next award, this is Class 8, Packard Pre-War, Best in Class Award winner John Dalton from Houston, Texas, for his 1937 Packard 115C.
What a beauty. But he's got his wife at home, ladies and gentlemen.
I was just going to ask him that. Go ahead.
Same class. Oh, I'm sorry, no, we're moving up to Class 8 now. It's Packard Pre-War. Once again, James Bartlett from Tomball, Texas, for his 1929 Packard Super 8 Roadster. Good to see you, James. He's a silver.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you so much.
If you guys notice these trophies, I mean, I've sat back there looking at them. These are very, very nice.
Now, since Randy made that comment, as we said, we judge at a lot of events, and I'm not sure I've seen any event anywhere in the country that has a better trophy selection committee, which I think might be Bob or Judy, probably Judy. Aren't these spectacular trophies?
Very nice.
Okay, and the next award winner, Class 8 Packard Pre-War World War II Corinthian Award, goes to Jackie Dahl Cantore from Elmhurst, Illinois, for the 1940 Packard Darren.
A gorgeous car. If you saw it or if you haven't seen it, it was on the end down there, kind of a maroon color with the cut-down doors. Darren is referring to Dutch Darren. He was a designer of the era as well. Thank you for bringing that. That's a wonderful car. Class 9. Once again, Packard. This time we're post-World War II, best in class, meaning number 1. Mr. Stephen Morris, once again, Houston. 53 Packard Mayfair.
Hope you shake his hand.
Wait, I am. Hold on. I talked to you quite a bit about that car yesterday. If you hadn't seen that one, it's kind of a cream yellow with a red burgundy top, which isn't unusual. They had that color combination, but when you got to the interior, whole different story.
It's an interesting car, which I found in Facebook Marketplace, of all things. And the interior matches the exterior. It was a special order car for the wife of the Packard distributor in Philadelphia. And she got pretty much what she wanted. And it's interesting. It's got every option on it. I've told people every option that you would want, because it doesn't have the power windows. It doesn't have the power cell, the things that break. It doesn't have those. It's got everything else. And it's just, the interior is all original. Not perfect, but it's the way it was built.
And thank God we have people like him preserving these cars.
Our next silver award winner goes to Tommy Baccato from League City, Texas, for his 1947 Packard Clipper Custom Super 8. Tommy? Oh, here he is. Thank you, Tommy.
Class 10, coming up, one of my favorite classes, Rolls-Royce and Bentley, best in class. This is your winner. I'm going to hope I don't pronounce his name wrong, Mellinger from Houston with his 52 Bentley. This is an R-type, R standing for right-hand drive, and this car is just exquisite. Shell gray on the bottom for the color, Tudor gray on top.
You know, Randy, I just wanted to comment on the overall elegance of the styling of this automobile. And since we're on the subject of styling and elegance, I'd like to invite Kip Wasenko to come up and make a few comments about it. Because for all of you, Kip was a former head of design for Cadillac at General Motors Corporation and also head of special vehicle design.
Hold up.
If you could ask him to hold here for a moment, could you comment on the design elegance on this?
Yeah, I'd love to. You know, I worked under Bill Mitchell, and this is a funny story, so I'll bear with me. Bill was the head of design for GM, and Bill, like all of us designers, including me, were influenced by the world around him. It was interesting when Bill introduced the 76, the Bustleback, sorry, not 76, the Bustleback Seville in Europe. He got accused by the German press of copying Mercedes-Benz on the new Bustleback Seville, and he politely told the German press in front of everybody in the world at the press conference that when he grew up in New York, his dad said, "Son, if you're going to rob something, rob the bank, not the grocery store." He says, "For the record, I copied Bentley and Rolls-Royce, not Mercedes-Benz." And the funny part of the story is he caught so much flack we weren't even politically correct back then from the PR department at GM. He had to actually write letters of apology. But when he came in the studio and shared the story with us designers, we thought it was incredible. But it was definitely an influence on the Seville Bustleback.
Great story. Thanks, Kev. You know, when you look at a car, we all look and see, well, is it shiny? I mean, that's our judge. Well, the lines that define the car are called character lines, and they do just that. They give it character. If you notice on some of your higher paint jobs, those character lines are nice and crisp, the way the factory would like to have had them all had they not been mass-produced, even in this case. But that is a beautiful example of that car, and you can certainly see the influence that Mitchell took from.
Okay, our next silver award winner in Class 10, Rolls-Royce and Bentley, goes to Paul Coselli from Bel Air, Texas, for his 1962 Rolls-Royce Silver Cloud 2.
Another really nice car in the far corner over there where the Rolls-Royces were.
Congratulations, Paul. Thank you.
The Corinthian Award in the Rolls-Royce Bentley class is going to go to Gerald Bullhan, from Conroe, Texas, for his 37 Rolls-Royce 2530. Here he comes right now. There you go. Big smile. I love that.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for bringing it.
That should have been a Corinthian Award. Oh, very good. Thank you.
Our next award, this is Best in Class for Class 11. This is for Lincoln. Goes to William Seward from... Sorry. To William Seward from Katy, Texas, for his 1934 Lincoln Series KA Model 524. Shake his hand.
The same class, Lincoln, this time for a silver award, Mr. Preston Clark, Houston, Texas, 1948 Lincoln Continental.
Congratulations. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much. Nice car.
Our next Best in Class winner, Class 12, Mercedes-Benz, goes to Jay Morris from Richmond, Texas, for his 1957 Mercedes-Benz 190 SL.
Congratulations. Congratulations. If you haven't had a chance to see that roll Mercedes, there's some very beautiful cars out there. Number 2 in the same class, Mercedes for a silver award. We're going to talk to Christopher Meyer from Sugarland, Texas, for his 1960 190 SL Roadster.
Certainly is. Thank you for bringing it. Our next Corinthian Award winner goes, and this is a Mercedes-Benz Class 12, to Brandon Mason from Houston, Texas, for his 1957 Mercedes-Benz 220S Cabriolet. And this car is just spectacular. Congratulations.
As someone who makes luggage, this car had an incredible set in the back of it. Gorgeous color combination, kind of a pale green and a dark maroon interior. Stunning car, stunning color combination. Best in class, moving now to Class 13, Mr. Robert Sykes from Conroe, Texas, for his 74 MG MGB GT. There he comes.
You shake his hand.
Raj?
I'm just moving the chair for you. Our next silver award winner, Cade Gentry from Woodlands, Texas, for his 1960 MG MGA. Congratulations, Cade.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job, man. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Moving up to a class that everybody seems to like lately, Porsche. Number 1, best in class, Glenn Edgecombe, Houston, Texas, 73 911T.
You know, the 911Ts are iconic automobiles. I'm going to ask my buddy Bill Warner to come up here and talk to you, his counterpart here, a little bit about 911Ts and S's. See up here.
Well, I've got one. I've had one 51 years, and ran the Cannonball in. Great Cannonball car, but the T was the entry level. You know, that was a basic T, and at the time it was. I think I paid $7,900 for it. Today, what would you think?
Well, if it's in good shape, probably over 100, I would guess.
Good investment, better than the stock market, huh? At least today, yeah. Thank you very much, Frank.
Thank you, Bill. Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Moving on to the silver accord for the Porsche, Eric Lipper, also Houston, Texas, 1987 Porsche 930 Turbo.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you sharing. Okay, our next best in class winner is Class 15 Chevrolet from 1940 through 1970s. Goes to John Hodges from League City, Texas, for his 1969 Chevrolet Yenko Chevelle. The red Yenko that you saw out there, that was a kick-ass car back then.
And if that name sounds familiar, John is also your car collector of the year, Mr. John Hodges.
Appreciate that.
Good to see you, We're gonna talk to John a little bit more. When you ask somebody what they have at home, how about 75 cars? And I got to tell you, they're not a runt in the litter.
Okay, Class 15, our next silver award winner goes to Stephen Guerin from League City, Texas, for his 1969 Chevrolet Camaro.
Moving over to Corvettes, 1950s, best in class. Mr. Kevin Brady from Seabrook, 1953 Corvette. If you ask him what color it is, it's the same color they all were.
Congratulations. Congratulations.
The 1953 Corvette was considered to be America's first sports car, and it was a fiberglass body on the car. I'm going to ask our General Motors designer to come up and make a few comments about that design and the inspiration both to and from Europe in regard to it.
It's interesting. If you look back in General Motors history, right after the war, there was a design explosion as the plants quit building planes and started working on cars. And GM had Motorama. And that's when you first saw the Corvette being shown as a concept car of Harley Earl in the Motorama days. In fact, they not only did the Roadster, they did a Nomad version and stuff. And what was interesting was the use of fiberglass. You know, I think that was new. But for designers at that time, or designers like myself, fiberglass opened up an all new expression in form vocabulary, because now certain things can't really be stamped or certain shapes, but in fiberglass it's pretty endless with how it can be formed. So it's interesting, starting in Motorama as a concept, and today, proud to say the Corvette's still the American sports car.
Yeah, with the Blue Flame straight six engine and with 3 carburetors, 3 side draft carburetors, right?
That's correct.
How long have you had the car?
Just since January. We looked for one for a very long time. But
Well, thank you for sharing it with me. Thank you.
And I'd like to just add, Kevin is one of the major sponsors here and has been for a long time, and we thank him for that. Without him, shows like this don't go on. So
Yeah,
great car,
the
great
term is
help with the
legacy
show.
sponsor.
Thanks, Kevin. Moving on to Corvettes for a Corinthian. John Leichletter, Tyler, Texas, 56 Chevrolet Corvette. Another car. Did I pronounce the name right, John? Lichleiter, okay. That's why Frank gave it to me.
That's correct. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great car. Yep.
Okay, our next award winner in the Corvette category, 1960s through 1970s. This is the best of class winner to Richard Hudson from Missouri City, Texas, for his 1967 Chevrolet Corvette. Spectacular automobile. Yep. Side pipes, 427, 435 horse.
When you think of 3 pedals and 3 carburetors, the 2 go together very well in the Corvette world.
Hey, thank you for sharing the car with us. Fantastic car. Thank you.
Also, Class 17 Corvette 60s and 70. Mr. Howard Rothman from Santa Fe, Texas, also for a 67 Chevrolet Corvette. This is a silver. I'm sorry.
Silver.
Coming around as one of the jewels on the field today. Thunderbird class 19, 55 to 57. This was a tough class. I know the judges spent forever. We actually debated it forever. Here comes your winner. If it looks like a simple 57 Corvette, let me tell you, they only built 196 with a supercharger. This has one. When you narrow the field down, this is a 3-speed with overdrive, another very rare option, and this has that as well. Restored by Prestige Thunderbirds, and we can't thank them enough for bringing it.
Yeah, this car has a great story behind it, and I'm going to ask the owner to tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, my dad bought this car in 1962 in California. He drove it, and I drove it all the way through high school and college, put 100,000 miles on it as a kid in Southern California. They gave it to me as a college graduation present, went to work, had a family. 18 years later, I decided I ought to get it restored, took it in to Prestige in 1984. It came out in 1985, and this is the way it is today.
Thank you so much for sharing the car with us. I'm going to ask Kip again. This was Ford Motor Company's answer to the Corvette. The 55, 56, and 57 T-Birds were the answer in terms of sports car design and America's first sports cars. How did GM respond?
Well, you know, it's interesting. I remember these as a kid. My homeroom teacher had one. And it was interesting to see how the Corvette evolved. You know, to the 57, which personally is my favorite. But they definitely moved it in a luxury direction. And what was really interesting and surprising to me, but even though I was a little kid at that time, when they moved to the 4-passenger, a lot of purists, maybe I was a purist at 12 years old, were shocked. But the reality of the situation, the sales of the 4-passenger eclipsed it. But from a design standpoint, you could see how they moved it to more luxurious. But it was interesting that the fins, which really peaked in 57 across all manufacturers, 55 very, very understated, but 57 with the elegant fins. And of course, that all came from World War II, and every designer was influenced by aircraft.
Thank you so much, Kip.
Also in the Thunderbird class, this time for a silver award. If you remember when I introduced this car, I said it was a tough decision. Mr. John Hodges is coming up. He had the Sun Gold. They're kind of parked at an angle. To make Mrs. Hodges is coming up. To make this car even more unique.
Thank you so much.
At the Thunderbird Nationals, pardon me, out of 300 points possible, this car scored 300 points.
Randy,
on any given day, that's a tough one.
Randy, I think you're hitting puberty.
Yeah.
I don't know what the next one is. Okay, the next car in Class 20, Thunderbirds from 1958 to 1966. The 58 Thunderbird was considered one of the what they called the square bird, and this is what Kip was alluding to, where they went to a 4-passenger, more luxurious type vehicle. This award goes to William Pilat from Bel Air, Texas, for his 1962 Ford Thunderbird Sports Roadster.
You might have saw it. It's a red one against the fence, and it's got these two wonderful headrests on each side. That's the Sports Roadster portion. Wire wheels. I got to ask you, Bill, after the picture, how long have you had that car?
345 days.
345 days and counting. What else is at home?
Just a 67 Mustang convertible, but they're both drivers.
Both drivers. All right, a Ford man at heart. Thank you, Bill.
Okay. For Class 20 again, Thunderbird 1958 to 1962 Silver Award to Augustus D'Angelo from Houston, Texas for his 1966 Ford Thunderbird. Congratulations.
Next class, Class 21, Ford GT. This will get your hearts pumping. Best in class, James Jones from Duncanville, Texas. Here we go, folks. How'd you like to have that home in the garage? Or better yet, in the driveway. Carbon fiber hood, carbon fiber sides, carbon fiber nose, and a lift kit.
How about revving it up for us?
Very nice, very beautiful. There were a whole bunch of them if you didn't get a chance. They're all out on the field there. There's several. Multiple colors, multiple options, but all beautiful.
So I'm going to pose on Kip one more time here because to me, this styling exercise was just superb when it came out and it was very different. When Ford was really chasing Ferrari once again after 50 years after his Le Mans win.
For the design, it's real personal to me because my good friend Chris Svensson, who passed away, was designing this car. And we'd talk about it, but even though the designers at Ford and Chrysler were all personal friends, we don't share corporate secrets, if you will. And Chris really wanted me to be there for the unveiling of the Detroit, or it was at Detroit for the Ford GT. And I said, Chris, I can't be there. I'm judging in Texas or in Phoenix, Arizona. So the night before the unveiling, Lynn St. James had a party, and she says, Kip, what does it look like? I said, well, honestly, Chris is one of my best friends, but I don't know. He texted me a picture of this car from the display at the Detroit Auto Show, and it blew me away. from a design standpoint, this thing was way beyond what I was expecting it to be. I'm really big on heritage design, not retro. And what was interesting to me was when you compare it to the previous Ford GT, which was very retro, reminiscent of the GT40, this one was more in line with my personal philosophy, where the face of the vehicle, which, like our face, tells us what family we are, what heritage we are, was there. And it was recognized to me as a Ford GT. But when I looked at the rest of the body, this thing was like the wildest sketch I've ever seen, except it was real. So I get choked up a little bit when I talk about this car because I think about Chris. He was at the highlight of his career, and for him not to be here today to see the love and respect this car is getting is touching. But anyway, congratulations. What a fabulous design.
Thank you, Kip. Thank you for sharing your car with us.
As a former Ford designer myself, I can tell you when they want something new, they start out telling you take a clean sheet of paper. That means you're starting from scratch. Ford GT, class is silver, or winner is silver this year, same class. Mr. Tommy Hammond, Texas City, Texas, for his 2017 Ford GT. And the family's coming up. What a handsome couple.
It's really nice of you to let him drive your car.
I know. It's all mine.
Congratulations. Good to see you. Tommy, good to see you, my friend. Thanks for all you do for the show.
Okay, next Ford GT Corinthian Award goes to Angela Fredericks from Houston, Texas, for her 2022 Ford GT. Congratulations, Angela. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Everybody's favorite Texans class is coming up. Mr. Shelby himself. The class is 22, best in class. Mark Connor, Plano, Texas, 67 Shelby GT 500. Doesn't get any better.
Silver Award, Class 22, Shelby. Once again, to Mr. John Hodges from League City, Texas. 1966 Shelby GT 500 350.
Did I mention there wasn't a runt and a litter in his car collection? A Corinthian Award, Mr. Stephen Guerin, League City, Texas, 64 Shelby Daytona.
Our next Shelby Corinthian Award goes to Jack Bell from Denton, Texas, for his 1967 427 SC Cobra. This is the big block Cobra with a monster engine in it.
A side oiler at that.
Thank you so much.
Class 23, Ferrari. I'm going to let my Italian friend introduce this one.
So this is Class 23 for the 1970s through 1980s and 90s. Best in class to Eric Lipper from Houston, Texas, for his 1989 Ferrari 328 GTS. And this is a continuation of when they did the model changes that kind of started with the Ferrari Dino and then moved on to the Ferrari 308 onto the 328 and 348. I remember this car got my attention when I opened up the Wall Street Journal and had a full-page ad, and it had a profile of the car, and it said, if it can be conceived, it can be created. And the car was absolutely stunning. Got my attention right from the very first day. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Rosa Corsa is the name of the color. People call it Ferrari Red, but the real name is Rosa Corsa. There's probably 13 variations of it, but this is one example. Very nice car, requisite tan interior. Just a great example. Thank you, sir. Same class, 23 Ferraris. Ross Collar, Houston, Texas, 1990 Ferrari F40. If you were going to leave here today with some car and you didn't want to be followed, this might be a good example to get in.
You know, the F40 is an iconic automobile. It was built in 1990. It took well into the 2000s before Ferrari was able to build a passenger car that performed even close to the F40. How long have you had that car?
I've had this car nearly a dozen years. I bought it in Austria. It's been in 7 or 8 different countries. I have the luggage. My wife even likes to go riding in it. So we take it on trips sometimes, and it's a fun car.
You track it?
It's not worth tracking. You know, the parts are so hard to find and expensive these days. You can have more fun in a Miata. You're not worried so much. Not worried so much.
All right, thank you so much for sharing it with us.
If you notice the shirt, you're going to see a little badge there that says NART, North American Racing Team. One of Frank and my best friends is Luigi Canetti Jr., and we always love it when Luigi starts talking about stories of the day. Luigi's father brought Ferrari here to North America. And I asked him one time, I said, what were the hardest cars to sell when you were bringing Ferraris over? He said, that's easy, all of them. Ferrari 70s, 80s, and 90s. This time a silver award. Ross Collar, Houston, Texas. Whoops.
No, that's the wrong one.
See what happens when you get tired?
Class 24.
Ferrari 2000 to present, best in class. Pablo Bonjour, Katy, Texas, 2016. Ferrari, California. Was parked right over there, if I'm not mistaken. Pablo, are you here, sir? Ah. Buenas noches, mi amigo. Congratulations. Muchas gracias.
Our next Ferrari Award winner, Ferrari 2000 to present day. This is a silver award winner that goes to A.J. Kandami from Fort Worth, Texas, for his 2011 Ferrari 599 GTO. Congratulations. You're next.
Moving into the new class, Class 25. This time we're in a bunch of big cats. A Jaguar, best in class. D. Ware from Spring, Texas for his 73 Jaguar XKE. D, are you here? All right. Go ahead, Frank. Take the next one.
Our next silver award winner for Jaguar goes to Marcus York Laredo from Laredo, Texas, for his 1963 Jaguar MKX.
Very nice car, right over on that side of the field if you want to get a chance to look at it. This time we're going to European sports, best in class. Jeff Tebby from League City, 58 Triumph TR3A. Jeff, are you available? There he comes. Congratulations, Jeff, and thank you for bringing it.
Our next class is European sports cars. This is a silver award that goes to R. Ernst Kruger from Houston, Texas, for his 1972 Di Tommaso Pantera.
Where do we go? Right here. Right here. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Awesome. Awesome. Very good. Thank you. Very good.
I'll tell you a quick story. When I was at Ford, this was in the 70s, De Tomaso Pantera was available. It was available to all of us as designers, and we got a discount. It was called the A Plan. I bought one, waited forever. The dealership was Mulligan Lincoln Mercury in Detroit. I couldn't wait. I got down there. I got in the car. The guy went around telling me about the car. I couldn't hear a word he was saying. I just wanted to go. I got 5 miles, and the transaxle went out. True story. They fixed it 4 months later. I went back and picked it. I went 100 miles. Transaxle went out. I gave him the car back. Went out and bought the predecessor to that, the De Tomaso Mangusta, and I never had a problem with the car ever.
Okay, our Class 27 muscle cars, best in class to John Hodges from Lead City, Texas, for his 1969 Dodge Daytona. Very, very special car.
The silver bullet rounds the corner here.
Go talk to him about it.
Okay, I have to ask, how did you find this one?
Actually, we didn't. John and Jackie Hodges, this is their car. I believe they got it at the auction, auction in Kissimmee, Florida. This
All right, bought it at the auction, but what a beauty. Once again, if you get a chance to see this car, look at fit and finish. These aren't called gaps, they're called margins. If you want to sound intelligent, say, I like the margins. Great color combination. You couldn't give these things away when they were brand new. I don't know why. Maybe this had a little something to do with it. Yeah, couldn't get air. Sums it right up. Thank you, Mr. Hodges, wherever you are.
Our next Silver Award winner from Muscle Cars goes to Robert LeMay from Seabrook, Texas, for his 1971 Plymouth Cuda. Congratulations.
Continuing the supercar class now. Best in class. Colleen Ellison, Conroe, Texas, for 2022 Lamborghini STO. Colleen, are you here? There she comes. I was going to say she's probably out driving.
Our next Silver Award goes to Kevin Brady from Seabrook, Texas, for his 1922 Chevrolet Corvette.
2022. 2022.
That's what I said.
1922.
Oh, John. Sorry. I just fell back 100 years. I said 1922.
Pretty car. Thank you so much, Kevin.
I'm going to ask Bill to come up on this one. Hey, Bill Warner, can you come up?
They're playing Bill's song here. Best in class race cars. Jose Fernandez, Bridgeport, Connecticut, 1961 Chaparral Mark I.
And I'm going to ask my good buddy Bill here to talk a little bit about the history and heritage of the Chaparral race cars.
Well, of course, the Chaparral race cars were Jim Hall from Midland, Texas. He had these cars. He had two cars built. They were entered by Chaparral Cars. They're truly known as Troutman and Barnes Specials. They were built by Troutman and Barnes in Los Angeles, but they became known as Chaparral simply because Jim Hall made them famous in the road racing championship. And it's Sebring. These cars ran at Sebring. These cars had to have headlights. They had to have a seat. They had to have horns. They had to have all sorts of road equipment. And Bruce Amster restored this car. Bruce, tell a little bit about where you found it.
It came from a friend of mine in Spain to be done over. He raced it overseas. It races in Silverstone still today. It races all over Europe. It came back to be restored, and it's going back to be raced again. It's already inspected. It's got everything new in it. It's actually going to one of the greatest Concours events in Europe this September. It's been invited to the Champs-Élysées show, which is outside of Paris.
And this car has been here back in the States how long?
Oh, God, probably about 3.5, 4 years now, sorting out the history and everything else.
Well, this was a very significant car, and thanks for bringing it here. It looks good to see you, Bruce.
You know, the effort to bring a
Thank you,
race
Bill.
car is a whole lot harder than you might believe, but once again, thank you so much for bringing this car. That's the reason why right there.
Our next Silver Award winner goes to Jeff Norris from Humboldt, Texas, for his 1917 Miller Golden Submarine. Is Jeff here?
Coming. Somebody waving a hand.
Thank you so much for sharing your car with us.
Thank you. What a beauty. Thanks again.
You're next.
A new class that Bob Fuller felt would be a great addition to the thing. We got pickup trucks this year, and there were some beauties out there. Number one, or best in class, was the 70 Ford Bronco from Stephen Crumbly. I don't know if you saw it. It was a kind of a pale blue out there. Absolutely looked like it just came out of the showroom. Steve, are you here? Ah, here he comes. Got the shirt on matching the car. Don't go away, sir. I just got to ask you, what else you got at home?
I've got a 66 Mustang GT convertible and a couple Cobra replicas, unfortunately. But.
He's on the right path.
In the pickup truck and trucks category, our next Silver Award winner is Edwin Smesny, if I'm saying that correctly, Smesny, from Cove, Texas, for his 1953 Willys Overland Farm truck. It's the red one that you see out here. It's absolutely
actually parked next to the Bronco.
Spectacular restoration on that.
Just
thank you so much.
When you think of nut and bold, look at this car. Corinthian Award, also for pickup trucks. Joe Machal, Seabrook, Texas, 44 Willys Military Jeep. Here he comes. Joe. How in the world did you get a military Jeep? Why not just a regular Jeep?
Well, I'm not really that big of a car guy, and we found this 1944 Willys Jeep. My dad actually drove this Jeep, that exact Jeep, in World War II.
That exact Jeep?
Yeah, that serial number on it. He's got 16 millimeter color film of him in Saint-Mère-Église, France, with that serial number, and we have pictures to prove it.
That is a fantastic story.
That's why we ask the questions.
Okay, the under the next category, which are called Restomod cars, best in class winner goes to Don Treadway from Santa Fe, Texas, for his 1966 Chevrolet Nova SS. And you know, many of you might look at this and think it's a hot rodded car, but this term Restomod has become sort of the new term for people that want to drive a really cool older car with a great design and have all of the amenities of a new car with better suspension, maybe better brakes, and just more general comfort in being able to drive the car on long-distance trips. So this is a pretty darn good example of a Restomod here. And Randy, what do you think of that black paint?
That is very, very nice.
Thank you so much for sharing your car with us, Sean.
I noticed the margins.
Yeah.
Okay, a name you're going to get a little tired of hearing, but once again, a great car, Mr. John Hodges, Restomod's the Silver Award, 57 Chevrolet Bel Air. And here comes Mrs. Hodges. You know, the motto of their company, it's very interesting. It's good people build great companies. Well, I'd like to amend that. Good people have great cars. Thank you so much.
Once again, in the Restomod category, the next award goes to Joe McMurray from Longview, Texas, for his 1970 Ford Mustang. Doesn't say what it is.
Corinthian. Look at this. This is wrong.
Again? You do?
Okay, new class, Mustangs. Best in class, John Hodges. 1968. Here he comes, the man himself.
You know what, John? When I grow up, I want to be like you.
Hey, be careful what you wish.
We're going to talk a little later, John, and boy, have I got questions for you. Silver Award.
Silver Award, next class, Mustang to Ronald Fernau from Katy, Texas, 1972 Ford Mustang.
That's okay.
I'm not far behind. Congratulations.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate you bringing it. Old and slow still makes it, right? Class 33, Resto Mods, best in class. Stephen Guerin, League City, Texas. 1959 Chevy Apache Fleetside. And the family comes up.
Our next silver award winner in the Resto Mod truck category goes to David Purcell from Houston, Texas, for his 1955 Ford F-100 pickup truck. Thank you so much.
Congratulations, man. The next class, class 34, Antique Electric. Boy, isn't that a word we're hearing a lot of today. Best in class from the Studebaker National Museum all the way from South Bend, Indiana. A 1907 Studebaker Electric Runabout 22A.
If you haven't had an opportunity, go to the tent there. There's 3 or 4 electric vehicles there that are over 100 years old. So we're still working on it.
The Silver Award, Joseph Cantori, once again, Elmhurst, Illinois, 1920, Automotive Electric Service Corporation Auto Red Tag Bug. Thanks, Joe. Micro.
If you haven't had a chance to look at the micro car category over on the other side of the club, these cars are just cute as hell. This award for micro cars best in class goes to James and Tabby Mays from College Station, Texas, for their 1966 Morse Mini Traveler. In the microcar category, silver award goes to Roman Atanison from Houston, Texas, for his 1958 BMW 600. And that's an Isetta, isn't it? Yeah. I know, the big one. That was my very first car. I was 13 and a half years old, except mine was a 500. And if you know what an Isetta is, that's where the front opens up, and the steering wheel shaft has got a universal joint on it that allows it to open up. Back in Detroit, we were driving one, a buddy of mine had when we were not quite 14 years old. We're driving around the neighborhood. The cops didn't even know what it was. They didn't even know what to give us a ticket for. So they're really cute cars. Thank you for bringing it.
Class 36 motorcycles, best in class. Kevin Gralty from Huntsville, Texas, with a 1966 BMW R62. He's got the BMW shirt to back it up.
In Class 37 for street rods, best in class goes to Eric Walton from Montgomery, Texas, for his 1953 Chevrolet Bel Air two-door sedan.
Continuing the street rod class with a silver award, Mr. Freeman Mendel from League City, Texas, 56 Chevy Bel Air. Excuse me, sir, would you consider yourself a patriot?
Hey, Bill, come on back up. In the special interest category, the best in class winner goes to John Baldwin from Covington, Louisiana, for his 1982 Datsun 280ZX Turbo, which has a very, very interesting history, and I'm going to let Bill articulate on it.
Well, the car was a factory effort, East Coast car by Bob Sharp Racing in Danbury, Connecticut. On the West Coast, it started out with Peter Brock, but the Datsun program was primarily done by Bob Sharp, who's still alive today, 94, living down in West Palm Beach, Florida. But the car that Jack Baldwin brought today, John Baldwin, is the Paul Newman race car, and I believe that was one of his first national championships. So was it not, John?
No, it was a car that took him to his first Trans Am win at Brainerd.
As a GT1 car.
Yes.
Yeah. Newman won his first championship in the Triumph TR6, which also sported a Datsun shift knob.
That's because you ended up with the car.
Bought it for $12,000.
And sold it to Adam Carolla, the other ultimate Datsun collector on the West Coast. Has
Adam called you yet?
Repeatedly.
Yeah, he's also got the Paul Newman Datsun 510, also the B sedan car. John, thank you so much for bringing it. It's good to see you again, sir.
Thank you, John.
Great, John. Thank you again. Special interest class, also Silver Award, Mr. Kevin Brady, 2021 Tesla S Plaid. Once again, a main sponsor of the show, ladies and gentlemen. He brought his chief advisor there with him.
Go ahead.
All right, we're down to almost getting toward the end. These are the special awards. Very important awards. We want to introduce Mr. Bob Waters. Where are you, Bob? Coming up?
Not yet, not yet. That's not Bob's car.
We're going to swap things around a minute. We're going to let the mayor come up first since they brought his car up. And Bob, if you'll hang on, we'll let you go next. Okay.
You're both mayors.
The mayor of Seabrook, ladies and gentlemen.
Well, when I first saw this car, when I first came to the show, I really couldn't believe that it was a hand-built car from scratch. Jeff Norris is the designer and builder. Every piece of this car was formed by Jeff on a English wheel, welded together. I want somebody to come up here and find these weld marks because it's absolutely amazing. It took them over 12 years to build. And it truly is an amazing little car. Jeff had this car at Indy. There's a four-cylinder Austin Healey engine in it, and he was clocked at 178 miles an hour at Indy in a four-cylinder car. His engineering prowess is by far advanced, obviously, to take a four-cylinder and do that with it. So, Jeff, I appreciate it. The Mayor's Trophy of Seabrook goes to you. Thank you very much.
The mayor of Nassau Bay, if I may, once again, we'll start with Mr. Bob Waters, and he can talk about the car he picked.
Well, I picked a steam automobile. It made me remember my days as engineer on a steamship. So the city of Nassau Bay is proud to present this award.
Thank you so much. Two mayors, ladies and gentlemen, in one day. Yep.
I want you to do the
Frank, you want to talk about the Chairman's Award?
Okay, so the Chairman's Award, I'm going to give the microphone to the Chairman.
Well, thank you very much. I'm pleased to announce the Chairman's Choice Award goes to the Peter Mullen collection from Oxnard, California, with their 1938 Tatra. Here it comes, 1938 Tatra, which is an exceedingly rare car. Those plaques. Ladies and gentlemen, the Chairman's Choice Award is for this beautiful Tatra. Comes from Oxnard, California, as part of the Peter Mullen collection, who has supported us many years in a row. We want to say thank you, sir, for joining us again. Give our best to Mr. Mullen and Susan. All right. Thank you, sir. Round of applause.
Jay Leno has one of these, and on his website, when he talks about it, he said, this is the most brilliant car you've never heard of.
That's next.
You look at the shape, the aerodynamic shape, this was actually designed by the man who did the Graf Zeppelin blimp. Jay said when you get past 60, this beautiful wing in the back will take you from the left side of the freeway to the right side before you can blink an eye, so you got to keep the speed down. But it was a small horsepower motor, a lot of innovative things, but it would go over 100 miles an hour in its time. Not that I'd want to. Beautifully done, as all of Mr. Mullen's car. Excellent color combination, very rare, and once again, grateful that people like Mullen have the chance to restore these cars and, more importantly, bring them around to different shows and show them. Been a long time since I've seen one, and I've seen a lot of cars. Thank you once again.
If you'll give us a moment here, we're going to bring our chairman right up in front. And Bob has a few awards he would like to hand out. So,
while they're doing that, I just want to acknowledge Bob Waters, the mayor of Nassau Bay. The winner of that award was Jess Matthews from Bellevue, Texas.
Get the eagle right there. Okay. I've got a few appreciation plaques, if you will, for our major friends and supporters that help put on this show and give us credibility and are my good friends. I'd like to announce this plaque goes to Sneed Adams, who is our chief judge for cars here. Sneed, are you still here?
Mr. Sneed Adams, are you here, sir? There he was. All right, well, we'll make sure he gets it.
Okay. Hand that back. Here's a familiar name, our friend Kevin Brady, please. Kevin, we want to say thank you for being our top legacy sponsor. Appreciate your support.
Let's bring everybody up. There we go.
There we go.
Got the vice president and the corporate officer.
Kevin, just thank you so much for all your help and support. And good luck. Congratulations on the trophies. All right.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Kevin Brady and his wife, and the little one there, stealing the show.
The next thank you appreciation plaque goes to our friend Kip Wasinko, who is our honorary chief judge for the cars, and he's become a great friend, and we love you. Thank you, sir, very much, Kip. Appreciate you being here. The next one goes to a familiar name, Frank Campanelli. Where is he? Oh, there he is. Frank,
thank you, Bob.
Thank you for being a part of this and serving as our MC. And please come back next year.
Thank you so much.
We appreciate that. And next to last is Randy Cox, who is right here. Randy, thank you for that.
Thanks, Bob.
Appreciate it very much. And if you'll hand me that.
Let me just show you what this is. This is a wonderful cloisonne. And it should bring a lot on eBay. I can't wait.
Okay.
Our next appreciation award goes to my dear friend Bill Warner, who is founder chairman of the Amelia Island Concours.
The man,
which
the
is-
myth, the legend.
Is worldwide recognized as the best concours event in the country.
World.
No, it was worldwide. That's right. At any rate, he's been a great mentor to me, and I think of him as my hero. And God bless you. Here you go. Take that home. Find a place for it.
You're a treasure to the automotive industry and to Texas.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being here very much.
Let me get one more.
There we go.
Bob Fuller, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you.
So now we get to the best of the best, and this is something that our chairman Bob came up with here. And in many car shows, there's a best of show, and that's very difficult because of all the various categories of cars that there are out there. It's really hard to pick one car that's the best of show from everyone's perspective. So Bob broke this down into 4 different categories. And it's broken down into pre-war American, pre-war European, post-war American, and post-war European. So our very first best of class winner in that category in American pre-war 1920s, oh wait a minute, excuse me, in American pre-wars 32, it's 1932 Chrysler Imperial CL LeBaron, owned by Larry Nannini from Pine Grove, California.
I have to tell you, yesterday, 4 of us, Frank, myself, Kip, and Bill, were walking around looking at cars. When we saw this one, we stopped dead in our tracks. Take a look, not just at the beauty of the car, but the way the colors work together. You got this wonderful maroon going into black fenders, and then you see this unusual color of a stripe that kind of blends. When you look inside the car, you'll see where that color came from. And if you get a chance a little later on looking at it, this pinstriping was applied by hand with a brush, freehand. Not easy. And it's done in a way that is just, it's incredible. The car was completely together when the guy striped it. The interior of this car, when you get a chance, look at it as well. Everything about it was nut and bolt, piece by piece, item by item, done to a level. When it looked good and perfect, then you put it back together. Beautiful car. Look at the top and look for how the fit of a top. Now that's canvas and it's a cloth. Try to bend cloth around a corner and have it curve the same way and not get some wrinkles. Once again, a very difficult thing to do, but they did achieve it. Gorgeous car. Pebble Beach, previous winner at one point, a number of other shows, and just couldn't be prouder to have this car and at least and be able to even talk about it as well. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for sharing this beautiful vehicle. The next category that I described is best of show American post-war. I'm going to ask Kip Wasenko to come up and talk about this car. This is the 1963 Cadillac Eldorado, and this was a very special design to Kip while he had his tenure at General Motors.
Well, thank you, Frank. Cadillacs, growing up in Detroit, literally 3 miles from the Cadillac plant. As a kid, I'd sit on the curb and watch these things come down the street doing their final check before they get sent to the hallways. Well, this car is special to me because it's actually a 1964, and as a kid, I did special favors for the people that owned the funeral home, and they had the identical car, except it was navy blue and light blue interior, and I got a chance to take it to my senior prom. So needless to say, I had the coolest car at the senior prom. But what's significant in terms of design is that, I studied design, and I always wanted to work for GM because of Bill Mitchell. And I think the mid-'60s designs under Bill Mitchell were incredible. And if you look at this car in particular, one of the differences between Bill's designs and his predecessor, Harley Earl, which tended to be more flamboyant and over the top, Bill's philosophy was very, very clean, and I think this car epitomizes that. They have the signature Cadillac fins, but it's done in a very delicate, sophisticated way. The body side is just beautiful surface, not overdone with you know, a lot of chrome and stuff that was kind of a disease in the 50s. So this particular example of Cadillac design, to me, is one of the real hallmarks. And, you know, and as Frank said to me later in my career, I was fortunate enough to become the director of design for Cadillac. So I'm pleased to see this car win. We talked at length with the owner. Very, very accurate. He's very knowledgeable in the restoration of the cars. But quite frankly, it was the design that appealed to me on this particular car. And congratulations. Great talking with you as well.
Thanks, Kip.
Thank you so much, Kip. Thank you so much for sharing it.
Okay, fasten your seatbelts. Coming around the corner.
Okay, the next car is owned by Peter Boyle from Oil City, Pennsylvania. It is a 1928 Isotta Fraschini. In the 20s and 30s, Isotta Fraschini, hi Peter, the Isotta Fraschini in the 20s and 30s was noted as the finest engineered automobile in the world. And this car is just a spectacular example of it. You just look at the fit and finish, all the engineering characteristics of the car, the styling for the era, and even just the overall elegance of the design, all of the what would have been chrome if this were an American automobile. This is all nickel-plated right down to the spokes and the rims on the wheels. Just a spectacular automobile. Peter, can you tell us a little bit about it and how long you've had it and any story that is behind the car?
Thank you, Frank. Yes, this car is a 1928 Isotta Fraschini, bought at the New York Auto Show in 1928 by Marguerite Clark and Harry Williams. She was a silent film star. He was a aviation pioneer. They drove the car to Patterson, Louisiana, where they spent their life and where the car spent its life. And one of the stories about Harry was he was driving the car one night in the city of Patterson and was stopped by the police, and Harry was kind of a swashbuckler kind of guy. And he said, "Officer, I don't think I did anything wrong." But, "Oh, yes," the officer said, "yes, you did." So Harry said after a while, "Well, I'll agree with you, officer. What's the penalty?" And the officer said $10. And Harry said, "Well, here's a 20 and I'm coming back through tonight and don't stop me." And then one of the stories about Marguerite Clark was that she was appearing on Broadway one time, and in the audience was Walt Disney. And Walt said to her after the performance, he said, "I'm going to use your image for my first silent movie about Snow White."
Whoa, great
stories. The police story sounds a lot like Bill Warner, though.
A couple things about the car, too. If you're wondering what this big box is, when you had a car of this caliber, you had to have a toolkit because if you broke down, there wasn't anybody around that could fix it. And inside, I don't want to take them all out, but they're all, every tool that came with the car, fully restored, in the box, ready to go. On the other side, there's a little door. That was for golf clubs. I asked them, "Do you have the golf clubs?" They pulled out a set of restored golf clubs right from the area in the car. So that's exactly what I mean when you get a car like this and take it down to the nuts and the bolts and you do everything the way it was. This couldn't be nicer. Great example, Peter. Thank you.
Thank you, Peter.
Last but not least, another car that will stop you in your tracks. 1967 Bizzarini 5300 Strata from Billy Hibbs. There he is, bringing it in. Tyler, Texas. A 9-year restoration.
This car was designed by Giotto Bizzarini in Italy. Giotto's Bizzarini's fame goes back to working with Ferrari in developing the iconic Ferrari 250 GTO. He went on from there, worked for Lamborghini, designed the Lamborghini V12 engine. So not only was he a fabulous stylist, but he was also a fantastic engineer. And he designed Lamborghini's first V12 engine, which has been in service in various automobiles for the past 47 years. After having left the Lamborghini process, he started building a combination of an Italian-bodied, Italian-styled, and engineered car with U.S. power in it. And this has a fantastic Chevrolet engine with a very special carburation system in it. Can you, Billy, tell us a bit about the car?
Thank you very much, Frank. First, I'd just like to say thank you for all the volunteers here. This is a great show, and it's so much fun. And we actually dropped the car trying to get it off the trailer. And about 6 of the best good old boys showed up. And they all must have had engineering degrees. And 2 hours later, we had it on the lawn out here. And they were boat guys. So listen, it's a great show. Thanks to Bob and everybody. The Bizzarini is an incredible story. And I love being able to show this car because most people have never heard of him. They don't know how to spell it. They don't know how to pronounce it. And they've never seen one of these. And the main thing that the takeaway is he was really one of the greatest automotive engineers of the 20th century. I'm not overstating this, am I, Frank? No, you aren't. And as Frank, pointed out, from the Ferrari 250 GTO to the Lamborghini Miura engines and Countach's to the ESO Revolta thing. I mean, it was just amazing what all he did. And he built about 120 of these cars, and then he went broke. And like a lot of small manufacturers, and about 70 of them are left today. Just to kind of wrap up, I'll tell you, I've been to Pebble Beach and saw one of these and fell in love with it. Bought it from an old Italian guy out in Fort Lauderdale. Knew nothing about the car. And one day, and I'm telling you the story, so all of you who are into cars, make sure that you join your car club so that you can have a great exchange of information. And I'm reading in this magazine, the Bizzarini magazine, it said, whatever happened to chassis number 265? It's been off the radar screen for 30 years. It's got to be the most famous Bizzarini in the world besides the Le Mans winners. And so the reason it was important was the guy that originally owned it was one of the most famous stunt car drivers of the 20th century, a guy named Kerry Lofton. And Lofton, he ordered it in these colors and all that, and he made sure that every single movie that he was in, that his car made a cameo appearance in every one of them. So this car is in the opening scene of Bullitt. It's in all kinds of Herbie movies and all kinds of TV shows and everything. And so I read this, and I thought, well, dang, I might have it. So I go out there in the garage and open up the hood and look down, and there it is, number 265, alive and well in Tyler, Texas, which I tell people sometimes a blind squirrel finds a nut, and that was kind of the deal. So after we knew that it was a historic car, we really went to work. A fella that from Germany flew over to give me all the paperwork and documents that, like the original build sheet on the car and all, so that we got it just right. And then I had a fellow named Jack Coombs de Hartog in Belgium, who's the world's foremost authority. He's written 4 books on Bizzarini. Bizzarini, incidentally, is still alive at 97 and has advanced Alzheimer's. But these are guys that have helped so much for free, just because they wanted to make sure that this historic car was put back together right. So if any of you are NCRS guys in here, I'm an NCRS guy, and I'll tell you, we did an NCRS correct restoration on this Bizzarini. And listen, thank you all very much. Thanks to the judges and everybody that worked so hard to make this come together.
Thanks, Billy.
And Frank?
I think one of the most striking things about this thing is the color. The color is called Verde Basco, and the interior is crema.
Just a little political issue there.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, last but not least, our collector of the year, a name you've been hearing all afternoon, Mr. John Hodges and his wife Jackie. Could you please come up? He brought all his accountants with him, too.
Or people he's accountable to.
Well, welcome. Hi, sweetheart. How are you? Thank you. John, how are you, sir? Good to see you. Thank you. How are you? Well, it is beyond pleasure for me to acknowledge the support you have given our show year after year after year, both as a sponsor and exhibiting incredible cars. So for the first time ever, we have created a new award for our show called Collector of the Year. And it goes to our dear friend, John Hodges, John and Jackie Hodges. So a round of applause for them. And if I may,
John, I want to talk to you for just a couple minutes here, if I could. I promised everybody. You got to tell everybody what your first car was that you decided to buy and collect.
Oh, I almost hate to say this. It was my first car was a 71 Pinto. And
We're going to get better. Come on.
it was the one that blew up when you hit it in the rear. And the first car I collected was a 69 Chevelle.
What about the 73?
Mercury Comet.
There you go. I was at Ford when they built that jewel. And from there,
Oh my gosh, we're from League City. Back when League City had a population of about 6,000 people, and it was a hot rod town. And I was in the muscle car era, and we started collecting muscle cars about 22, 23 years ago, and we have a lot of them.
the neatest thing about this hobby, besides the cars, is the people. And the people who not only are successful for a lot of good reasons, but they give back. John and Jackie are two of those people. They have a wonderful collection, 75 cars? About 100 cars. We're moving up. But they give back. And as John told me last night, unfortunately he couldn't be here. They had another event to attend. What's your favorite show?
This is our favorite show. It always has been. Always has been our favorite show. Yep. Can I say a few things?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I met Bob, I think it was 18 years ago, Bob. And, through the years, we'd have a car here, a car there, 3 or 4 cars. And, we just kind of grew with the show. And we show a lot of cars. We send a lot of cars to a lot of different shows. And but this is our hometown favorite. It's always been our favorite. We have the most fun, and it's typically it's the best 2 days of the year that we spend is here at Keels and Wheels.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Can you hear me?
If I could say a couple
Is
other
this
things,
working?
I know in our businesses we have we may have a COO and a vice president of operations, and it's no different in the car collecting world. And our two here are Kevin Ward and Phil Jones, and they take care of all these rare muscle cars. And of course, my beautiful wife Jackie. So,
John, thank you so much. And congratulations.
Jackie, thank you.
Thanks, Bob.
Very welcome.
Congratulations. Bye, sweetheart. Okay.
Love you.
We're about to close, but before we do, I want to acknowledge the loss of a dear friend and supporter of Keels and Wheels for a long time. Bill Friedrichs passed away about 2 months ago. He had ordered, and it was to be delivered, a 2022 Ford GT, and it was delivered 2 days after he passed away, just recently. But he was a great friend and supporter. His wife, Angela, was here earlier getting a Corinthian Award for the 2022 GT that we just talked about. But I did want to take a moment and mention our friendship and love for Bill Friedrichs. So thank you. I'll hand it back.
That concludes the show. Frank and I hope to gosh you had a good time, that we've entertained you a little bit and maybe taught you a thing or two. So thank you again. Hopefully we'll see you all next year.
Hopefully they'll invite us back next year.